What's good, party people? This is the Gym Crashers, a special late night edition with a birthday girl herself to talk about Fearless Women's MMA, Libby Canela. Libby, how are you?
I'm good. It's my birthday, so I'm pretty happy.
Woo! Hell yes. And we fed her a shit ton of carbs, so oops. If you're her personal trainer, sorry, not sorry, you fuck.
Sorry, I'm like trying not to sneeze.
There you go. Okay. Yeah, it might be dusty in here. But Libby, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Good?
Yeah. How are you?
Good. Dude, so
I'm doing great.
Obviously, let's kind of start back. How did you get into the wild world of combat sports?
You really want to know the truth?
Yeah, let's do the truth. The
All
whole
right.
truth, nothing but the truth.
So I was born into a family with a crazy ass dad. And he was fucking crazy. From having chicken fights, I'm not even joking, to just having like people at parties get drunk and they would just fucking fight. And so when you have someone with issues like that, you see the violence and it starts to affect you. Like you start to be like, he starts taking the anger out on you. He starts taking it out on your mom, your brothers, animals. He was a very cruel man. So one memory that I do have of him is one that, you know, like he would hurt animals. Like he would hurt my dogs, and he would do like electrical fence, and he would just go off on laugh. He would just get off on my dogs trying to escape. And go through that, and he would just be like, ha ha ha. So, like, he would say that SOS way, like, he would be like, you're not going to escape. Because we had, like, expensive dogs to keep, you know, like, the gangsters or whoever wants to break in the home. So, it was just nuts. So, growing up in that kind of environment, people don't really know. I just have so much fucking memories. Like, people, like from elementary. If you really want to know, like, my fucking life was not it wasn't a normal childhood. So I mean, I'm going to elementary school, people saying, Libby, what happened to your house? And I'm like, well, what am I going to tell these people, that my mom fucking went crazy and she destroyed the whole house after she put my dad in fucking jail because he beat the shit out of her and he beat the shit out of us, and she just destroyed everything from like broke all the windows. She just was like, fuck this house. It was just insane. So sorry for cussing.
No, this is what we do here.
But it was just I never really told anyone this, just because I'm always happy. People don't really know, you know, the true stuff of what happens and what makes people into a real fighter. You know, like I feel many people just see this shit on TV and, oh, I want to fight, or I have anger issues. You have no fucking idea what anger is until you're fucking seeing it every fucking day. Mm-hmm. You fucking go home and you're like, oh, what the fuck is he gonna say to me? It was just nuts. It was always walking on eggshells. So I learned to just be that fucking clown that pretends everything's good so nobody knows what the fuck's going on. So it was kind of like that embarrassment, like, fuck, dude, people are gonna think I'm fucking crazy. So then you just start to like say, well, I don't want to be like that fucking person, and I don't want to be like mom fucking being with some fucking crazy ass abusive guy, and I don't want to be like that fucking guy over there, fucking gangster getting shot. And you just start to see, I don't want to be like that fucking person. So I would just see, you know, like the principle, okay, I'll probably want to be like him, drive something. And then like you just start to see people around your neighborhood, you know, like, oh, that guy's successful, I want to be like that motherfucker. And that's how I got into this. And my dad, not wanting us to get taken advantage by gangsters, you know, right. He would put us in boxing, and knowing that violence, you know, was just kind of like damn, he fucking was molding me into what I am right now, from wrestling, boxing, karate. At 16 I did jiu-jitsu. That was in 2000, so do your fucking math. Right. But yeah, and a lot of people don't know that. So I lost like the fear of death, you know. And I always tell people, like, I live my life like if this is my fucking last. Like, I don't want to ever say I didn't accomplish anything because mom and dad never put me in these things. I'm like, mom and dad never put me in a lot of shit, but it was just like, I want to fucking do that. how could I do that? And when people do see that you're hungry, they help you. That's why I help out every fighter that I can. I'm like, well, you're really fucking, you're starving. I'm like, that's where I was. So, like, I just throw a bone. I'm like, if you fucking want this, I'll help you. But if you want a bone, let me see what you do with the bone. Then I'll give you a fucking steak.
So, I mean, obviously, there's a whole lot of turmoil, right? At home and then in school, right? Where do you get, I mean, as a young lady coming up in the world, like, where do you get some sort of solace? I mean, obviously, you've got your dad here, your mom there, and they're obviously going through certain things, but you still have to go to school. You have to, you're in an environment where, like you said, there's gangsters, there's people doing nefarious means are all around you. How do you keep on, like, the straight and narrow path?
I have no idea. I was just very drawn to learning. So everything that I would tell, like, I learned from you. So I always tell people, like, every man I meet is my master. I learned something from him. And so one of my biggest quotes, and like that I always would say since a kid, is like, wise people never stop learning. I always had a desire to learn. I always wanted to be like, oh God, I wish I knew everything in the world. I wish I knew what was under that rock. I wish I knew who was, like, in a cave. I wish I knew what was in the bottom of the deepest trench. Because I always was that kind of like, I want to know what the fuck's going on in the world. Going to school, it was like, man, I was learning all this shit. I mean, I would just go to libraries. And if you go to my old high school, I would have, I always loved Stone Cold. So my last name was, I would always put Libby Austin. And I would just put Libby Austin everywhere. And if you go to my old high school, you see a bunch of books with just Libby Austin just checked out. I read every fucking book in the planet. And I was like, man, this is fucking sick. So it was basically everyone's experience. Like, Johnny Hendrix went to the same high school I went to because he got fucking kicked out. I was like, Bruce Lee went to the same high school, and you're like, damn, I guess I'm not a piece of shit. Because I was like, they make you feel like a piece of shit. And every teacher would always call every student Deadwood. And I was like, oh, I guess I'm a Deadwood, but I guess they're Deadwoods too. But I didn't see it as that. I just would learn the narrow path. You know, it's hard, but most people will find it if they really want to be true to themselves. If you want to be like everyone else, go to the wide road. And so I always, I got honor roll student. I never missed a day, because they got me out of that fucking hell.
Yeah.
You know, got me out of that hell, and you know, I was acting up until 3rd grade, and one day I said to myself, why the fuck am I acting like this? It's like, if I don't even want to be bothered by the teacher, and I just want to sit here alone and have nobody bother me, why am I acting like a fool? So then that's when that clicked. I was like, if I just stay neutral and I don't fucking, like, talk crap to the teacher, I don't even do whatever, I was like, I'm just gonna be chill, because I just wanted to be, like, invisible.
Man.
But somehow invisibility doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's a superpower, apparently.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, I kind of just started saying, dude, I'm gonna excel. I think growing up, my mom, I'm the first generation Mexican. So growing up, I would see a bunch of racism. Oh my God. I went to all Mexican, all black community, and there was no whites. Probably a few, like, Vietnamese. And I didn't grow up with a lot of Filipinos until, like, later on in high school. But man, I just saw a bunch of racism. And I remember sitting in my principal's office, my mom crying. And I just said to myself, no one is ever going to fucking humiliate my mom ever again. Wow. So then that's when I was like, I'm going to be the fucking best ass student, and these motherfuckers kiss my ass. So then that's when I was like, I'm just going to use my intelligence. So I wouldn't even listen to the teacher. I would just read the book, and then I would just pass all my tests. And that's why I always tell people, dude, you go to school and it's so easy, and they give you a book. Just read it. And I would just read it over and over. So I'm the type of person that I do get distracted, but I would just read this shit over, and I said, okay, I don't remember it. So I would read it, and it would take me, like, a whole chapter would take me like 3 days, but I would remember that so much. And when I would take, you know, like, tests, even in UCSD, people would say, oh, you're so cocky. And I was like, no, I'm just confident. I'm confident that I know exactly what you're stressing about, where that page is at, and that paragraph, and that sentence, and that word, and break it down. You got your answer. I was like, I could just tell you where it's at. So that's where my narrow road started. I was like, I don't want to be like that person. I want to be like that. I don't care to have friends. I don't care. You know, it was just like, who's going to understand you if you're just going to be like, well, you have a best mom and a best dad. They take you out. Damn. Who's going to understand that kind of like, man, I just saw my dad beat the shit out of my mom, dragging her from her hair all the way to like the backyard. Who's going to understand that? Oh, I just saw my dad fucking like shock my, it was just horrible.
Wow.
When my dogs did try to run away, they were like my dad never bought us toys. They were just animals.
Right.
So if you want to entertain yourself, there's an animal and take care of it. So it's like when he would hold a 2x4 or a 4x4 and with a nail gun, put the dog's ear and just fucking like, whoa. People don't know that. And I'm finally exposing this and it's like, oh my God, it's like embarrassing, but it's kind of like.
It's cathartic for sure.
That's the shit that I fucking grew up with. And when people say like, man, like, oh, like I'm depressed because what the fuck are you depressed about? It's like, if you fucking like, it was the survival. It was just like, fuck, like.
Damn, dude. I mean, I can only imagine.
So that's where being like fearless comes from. Like, fuck, dude, I had to put so much shit, like, but I had to forgive and love my dad where he was at, because I felt like he wasn't able to get over the shit that he went through in Mexico.
Okay.
So I thank God for my understanding. Like I understood that he had to fight. He grew up in a farm. He had to do all this crazy shit. And that's where all his like, you know, all his shit and.
It affected him for sure, right? Yeah, absolutely. And it's something that kind of reverberated into his life because obviously he left that environment, right? But whether he knew it or not, he created that in a whole new world.
In the United States. I'm like, oh my God.
Wow.
It's like when you hit a woman, you just can't hit a woman. In Mexico, I don't even know what they do, you know?
Wow.
But it's like here, it's like, oh, you're messing with laws.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something, I mean, especially kind of growing up here in the United States, it's something that it obviously it happens, but it's almost like frowned upon. But in other cultures, it may not have that same weight, right? It might even be passable in some cultures. So, yeah, that's so crazy. Now, is there a canary, as you're going through all of this, is there a bit of a canary in the coal mine thing that happened, like a little glimmer of hope as you're going through it, where you're like, okay, wait, there is a perceivable light at the end of the tunnel. The things that I'm doing right now, whether it be focusing on my education or, you know, just staying above the influence of everything around me, was there kind of something that told you were going down the right path?
One thing that my 6th grade teacher, Mr. Williams, told me was like, Libby, if you're going to do something right, do it right the first time so you don't have to do it all over again. So then that's when I was like looking at other people's mistakes. I'm like, I'm never going to date like that. I'm never going to do that. And it was like, but then you find yourself in those damn situations when you're like, fuck, I said I would never do that, you know?
Right.
But the canary, you just have to find your way. I mean, I was kind of like everyone. I was not lost, but I was trying to find, you just do life, you know, life happens, you know, so it's kind of, you know, I just said to myself one way, I just felt like with my parents there, my dad, I felt like it was never going to end.
Yeah.
I said the only way for me to get out of this fucking home was for me to get an education,
right?
Be an actress, fucking sing, get my damn like band going, be my producer, and I was like, and get the fuck out of there. And I was like, and when I went to UCSD, like I was like, okay, I made it. Fuck, dude. I'm like, this little girl from the fucking Barrio Logan, fucking made it. And, and I was like the second student to ever make it to UCSD because I did get kicked out of school for fighting. And I went to Patrick Henry and I'm like, oh man, everybody was like, Ricky Williams. Sorry, Ricky Williams. But, you know, he was the the football player that became really famous from Patrick Henry. Everybody was always comparing him and all this other stuff. I obviously wasn't that Ricky Williams, you know. I wasn't that fucking kid that was the football star.
Right, absolutely.
I was considered a deadwood, you know, like the people that are bad, so when I got kicked out of there, I didn't make it in charter school because I didn't care to test, right? I was just like I was like, what, 14, 15? I was just like, fuck the stupid test. So I was just like bubbling any little thing, and I didn't want to take my time. I'm like, just get me out of here. And then Garfield High School was my only chance. And from there, I kind of was like, okay, either fight and get kicked out or never graduate and stay here, or fucking suck it up and learn how to control your fucking mind. And that's when I was like, all right, this person's pissing me off, but I can't slap them anymore. Because I was like, slapping them is going to cause me to get kicked out, and I'm never, ever going to get into college. So then I was like, all right, give me all the fucking packet work, because it was like a continuation school.
Right.
So I would see the 12-year-olds that are knocked up pregnant. I'm like, damn, I'm glad I'm not you.
Yeah.
And so I would just do my fucking packet work, and I'm like, bam, another credit, bam, 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 just pass it. And so when I was 16, 17, I graduated, and they just said, you have a choice to either go to City College or apply at a university. So I applied to university, got in. I was like, oh shit, I'm at UCSD.
Wow.
The first fucking time me being in the body or coming from the body of never seen anyone educated, just always getting killed or going to prison or whatever. The first time I walked in there, UCSD, it was like a fucking arena. I opened the door and I saw thousands of students. I swear to God, maybe it was hundreds, but to me it was like thousands. And then you see that one tiny little professor there, and I said, oh shit, it's like the movies. And I was like, man, where the fuck do I sit? And I was so scared, and I walked out and I said, man, I don't even know if I could go in there. So then I was like, okay, I have to find a seat. I don't know where the fuck I'm gonna sit.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my God, it's like those fucking like boards where people are like drawing. I was like, holy shit. And then they had a fucking big ass screen so other people from the top could see. And I was like, oh my God. So that was a shock. That was in 2003.
Wow. Okay.
And I was like, man, I've never imagined that. And while I was going to school, I had a little journal, and I would just write down and doodle. And that's when I wrote about, man, The Ultimate Fighter is the best show I've ever seen in my whole entire life. And then that's when I was like, and I quoted Chris Levin because he was my favorite. He's from San Diego. He had that kind of like parent issues, he kind of had that hurt. So I was like, man, he knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And he knows like about fighting. And I was like, I was never exposed to any of that. I never met like another like fighter or anything like that. We would fight in the fucking streets. Patrick Henry, true story. My brothers and I, oh my God, they're gonna kill me. But my brothers and I, we would go behind the PE area, and there was like a lot of the students, but we would just pick whoever we wanted to fight, and we were all friends, but we would fist fight.
Holy crap.
One time, one of our PE teachers caught us, and then he just smiled, and he was just like, he shook his head, and he went back inside, and we were like, oh shit, he didn't say anything.
Wow.
With Garfield High School, we started doing that. We would fight San Diego High School versus Garfield. So we would either meet in the football field for San Diego High, or we would meet under the bridge. And that's where we would fight. It was just insane. It was just like, that was my life. That's what I would.
And it almost seems to me it's cathartic in a way, because obviously you're dealing with all this turmoil, but you need some way to kind of expel it, right? To almost remove yourself from it, right? And sometimes when you go through such trauma as you saw in your younger life, you almost get to a point where you're like, I'm going to make people feel my pain, right? And that's kind of the path that you go to before, because, I mean, ultimately you go from like, people are going to feel my pain to like, I'm going to have people feel how lovable I am, or how much that I can love other people, right? Yeah. So it was a progression, but like, it seemed like you just needed someone to feel, or a place to kind of emit all the emotions that you were seeing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically what it was. I mean, I look back and I'm like, I can't believe I did that shit. I can't believe I like was driving on the opposite road, Like it's just like the shit that I would do is just like driving in the opposite road. and my friend yelling, "Oh my God, Libby, you're gonna kill us!" I'm like, "No, I'm not. My dad taught me how to drive."
Whoa.
And until you're like the opposite, and then like you just swerve. But that person is like the whole like mentality was like, okay, that person could either swerve that way or this way, but I'm gonna swerve this way. So if he swerves that way, we collide and we die.
What?
But it was
in
just
the
but that's
fuck?
when you just don't care. I didn't care to live or die. It was just kind of like you live your life like you're already dead, and you're just like nothing could kill me. You know, you start to see that kind of like. I don't know. There's a lot of stories I have.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like you're treading nothingness, right? And you're looking for some sort of purpose, which, funny enough, so obviously in sixth grade, you have Mr. Williams kind of talk to you and mentor you, right? And then your dad is putting you into jiu-jitsu. So at what point does that happen? Like your formal training in jiu-jitsu?
So with jiu-jitsu, it was actually one of my classmates, and he said, "Libby, since you like to fight, why don't you try jiu-jitsu?" There was only like 2 schools in San Diego at the time in 2000, and I was 16 at the time, and he gave me a card, and it was like they gave me a month free, dude, and I was like, and we would go there, and it was in North Park, so I don't remember, so I've been looking for him for all my life. I've been looking for him, and I don't know if he's dead. He did join the military. I don't know if it was like a Marine or anything like that. It's just back then we didn't have like Facebook or anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Ways to
And
track
I
people.
Googled his name and I just don't know. And I was just like, maybe he's dead. But he would know the name of it. And obviously my mom, she threw away the card. I always keep cards that are important for me. And it was a plastic business card, white.
That's cool.
And it had like green and red like letters, like words. But damn, I don't know who else in San Diego. Maybe if they know, if they remember that.
Well, I think it's cool. Let's shout him out because somebody out there might know.
I don't even want to. 'Cause
Okay, all
he
right.
was in love with me though. So it's kind of like, God, I don't even know if I want to. Like,
Okay,
I
all
don't
right.
know.
We might circle back, not or not. That's cool.
Yeah.
So obviously you saw Chris Lieben, right, and had a similar background, right? And
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy because I know with me when I see like Frank Trigg or Chris Lieben or Herb Dean or whatever, I'm like, they will never not be those guys to me because like I had kind of the similar, not similar, but it's those people who I saw that kind of got me into the sport of mixed martial arts, and you kind of see them almost on a weekly basis. So how is that kind of like full circle? Because Lieben is kind of what got you into it. Like you're writing in your journal, hey, this is my favorite fighter. We've been through similar experiences, and like now you consider him a friend. That's got to be kind of nuts, right?
Oh, it's kind of weird. I think when you do see people, even on TV, you just know. Like, there's some people that I have met on Instagram, and I already knew, like, they were supposed to be a part of Fearless. It's just nuts. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, oh, I already sensed something, and sometimes, like, you see, like, the news, like, I had a mentor, and, Dave Scott, the weatherman, he's Christian, and he was one of my mentors for a while when I was doing radio. And I was just like, man, I already knew when I saw you on TV, you're going to, like, be a part of my life somehow.
Right.
And it's like, I think you just have that intuition. Like, people wouldn't actually know, like, or like what inspires you, but it's just, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't get starstruck or
Okay.
But
Yeah.
Josh Koscheck, man.
Is Josh Jack the one?
No, I was just like,
Is it the
bastard,
Okay,
I would
yeah.
watch that. I would
Is
watch
that-
it and I would be like, what the fuck? Why don't you just leave him alone?
He's very much the heel. My goodness.
And
yeah.
then when they threw water at him, I was like, just leave him alone. He's sleeping.
Really? Oh, damn.
In that episode, I don't know.
Oh,
if you
yeah,
remember,
on the Ultimate Fighter. Yeah, yeah.
Just leave Chris alone.
Yeah.
So
It's like, leave Britney alone. No,
Yeah,
like,
leave
leave,
Britney
leave the crippler alone. Damn it, you couch check. My goodness. Now, I mean, going to San Diego State, obviously.
UCSD.
Oh, US.
Yeah,
UCS.
San Diego State's a party school. Sorry,
Okay.
everyone.
Yeah, you need to get your shit together.
My
So you
oldest
went to the
brother,
other one.
We would always bump, and he was like, "Oh, he was like, he would always say, I go to San Diego State. I'm like, you go to a party school, homie. I was like, dude, I went to a hard school. I was like, that was no fucking. Oh my god. So UCSD, this is how crazy it is. Okay, UCSD is like UCLA.
Okay.
All right. So if you, oh my god, I seen people commit suicide over an A-. And it's like, for me, I don't take grades serious. I would just be like, damn, give me that A-.
Okay. Yeah.
But because they're Asian, they come from Asia, and their parents spend so much money, and they have like, they have
Expectations.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I would just be like, oh my gosh, she just jumped off the fucking like science building, and I was like, oh my god, so does.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that happens, and I feel like there's so much pressure. There's so much pressure, and
Good
it's like,
Lord.
with me, it's like I didn't care. So it's like, to me, it was just like, I don't know. I just don't care for that kind of stuff.
You're just like, I mean,
People care and they slave for like titles, man. I'm just like, man. It's like I meet people. They're like, I drive this car. It's like, dude, why? Like, you should be spending it in an investment, or like, I come from a mortgage background, and I love doing what I do. Because I help people get homes. I help them save their homes. I counsel all that stuff, and that's part of what I do. Like, other than fearless and like fighting, but it's like, it's just like I don't care. I'd rather just buy a home. Like, if you just waste 60 grand on a freaking car. Unless it's like back in the day car classic,
Okay, right on.
But if it's a Tesla right now, there's going to be a better Tesla coming out in, like in 5 years.
It's a thing with technology, folks, for sure.
Yeah, it's like the cell phones, like those big Zach Morris phones. Do you remember, right?
Yeah.
Zach Morris?
Oh, yeah, the one with the antenna and the
Yeah.
absolutely.
You spent so
time
much-
in, time out, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like that.
Yeah.
So.
Now, I mean, so it's kind of crazy to me because, like, people that I know or have heard of stories, when they have a kind of tumultuous upbringing or environment, like, the first thing that they want to do when they get a chance is to get as far away as possible. So you going to a college in the same kind of town, from that environment that you grew up around, like, was there a conscious decision that you were like, I'm going to go here because, like, I'm going to show people around me that I made it? Or, like, what was the kinship? Because, like, most people are like, I'm going to the other side of the bloody world. Like, let me go to Europe, let me go to Florida, whatever the hell. Let me get out of this situation, literally and figuratively. So what was the decision of you staying in San Diego and kind of fighting the fight within San Diego?
I think because a lot of the professors at Garfield High School did teach at UCSD.
Okay.
And so, and they also did across the street City College. I just felt like they're the ones that actually led me to it. I had no idea. I was like, I wasn't thinking about going to college. I was just like, I just need to graduate, and I don't know what I'm gonna do, because my plan was to become an actress, a model. Everybody was like leading me up to that, and I was just, I love science. I was at a point, and this is a true story, where I was doing physics, and my chemistry teacher was like, man, you're so smart. You just get all these equations. And I was like, I don't know how the fuck I was doing it. I have no idea.
Right.
But I felt like at the time I was so angry in my life that I wanted to work. I wanted to get my degree in chemistry and in physics and work for the military so I could build like an amazing bomb. And this is true. This is fucking true. And it's like, I hate to admit it, but this is how, like, when you're in that mindset where you fucking can't stand anybody, is because you can't stand what happened to you. You start having these crazy thoughts, and sometimes it's not even your own thoughts. It's thoughts from I felt like the spiritual realm, where there's like evil versus good, and I felt the evil and I felt the good, and I felt like I'm gonna build an atomic bomb with an H bomb, and it's gonna be a silent bomb where no one could be able to hear it, but you could just feel that force. everyone will fucking die. And I was like, and the United States will be the fucking best ever. I was like, no one could ever fuck with us. And that's the type of shit was like, I'm gonna use my mind and my gift to do this. But then I was just like, when I sometimes, you know, you would be walking, I would do like these vision walks, and I was like, that's not what I meant to do.
Whoa, okay.
I'm supposed to, and my pastor back in the day would always say, he was like, Libby, you have the power to either build someone up or destroy them. He goes, this is why, you know, like, he goes, your voice is going to be heard in places others dream about, but the anointing is going to be much bigger on you, but you're going to pay a bigger price for that. Okay. I felt like I paid so much for this fucking anointing, and I don't even know why. Like, I know why, but it's like, I felt like it's something
that's beyond you, right?
Yeah, it's something that I didn't choose to do this, you know, because I never imagined myself to be that little girl from the barrio to do all this, you know, like
incredible things
that I want to encourage people, like, especially first generation, you know. And I had a lot of Mexican girls that are in their 20s, and they say, Libby, thank you for not being the stereotypical Mexicana, Latina, right, to just get pregnant and do nothing with her life.
Wow.
And when I saw that, I was just like, what? I mean, when I heard that, I was like, what the hell? Like, I never really thought of myself like that. I was just like, well, I'm not a mom. I guess I'm not meant to be a mom right now. Right. And I guess I'm not meant to have a family right now because I'm building something. So it's just, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it when you have a passion project of any sort, you know, that almost surrogantly becomes your baby, right?
Yeah, and it's my baby.
Yeah, and it may not make sense to anyone else, but you know, when you're talking about anointing and what have you, you know, everybody has their particular purpose, and not to disparage anyone that, you know, falls in love or gets pregnant or anything like that, but
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's right, but I mean, that might not be anybody's one particular path, you know. For those who do, that's great, but there's something else for others, right? And I think that's kind of what you're trying to create with Fearless. Now, let's talk about Fearless. So, how did that idea come about? Obviously, you've got different women kind of looking to you as a sign of success, and you're like, man, what can I do to be more like Libby, or what have you, or I want Libby to advocate for me in terms of, you know, contracts. I'm a fighter, you know, so like I don't understand contracts or whatever. So like, where does this whole thing kind of start?
So it started like not being afraid to die, you know, like
I got Rick Hollywood say what's up, Libby.
What's up, homie? Why aren't you here?
La Holla boys.
Dang. I'm like,
he said not for nothing, but I brought her cage back to life before her last show in San Diego.
Dude, if it wasn't for Rick, seriously, that cage wouldn't be what it is right now. He honestly, like I said, like I met Rick at CFFC when I was a ring girl. And I had no idea. You know what, Rick? You did so much for me. You held my hand as a ring girl, and you held my hand as a promoter. It's gonna make me cry, but it's like, fuck, like the shit that you have done for me. Like, so many people try to stop that promotion. You have no fucking idea. From fucking coaches in San Diego, threatening other female fighters not to fight.
Wow.
Pulling them out. From having fucking Mexico, you fucking bastards. You don't know what the fuck you have done. I'm a Mexican American. And you know what? I'm going to wear that fucking Donald Trump hat when I go to Mexico. You fucking bastards. You guys been fucking on my ass for 3 fucking years because I'm a fucking woman. You don't want anybody else fucking ruling Mexico. But you know what? I'm American. I'm fucking educated. And I fucking will show you what a fucking Mexican American first generation bitch will do. But you know what? You guys threatened all those fucking Mexican girls. You guys did a lot of shit, which I'm not going to expose now. Wow. But there's a few fighters that were held at gunpoint.
Whoa.
But you know what? We fucking made it. You know what? I never say die, and I fucking hate this. And this shit's fucking real, dude. This is fucking raw, honest fucking shit. I had a motherfucker accuse one of my fucking business partners that he was fucking messing around with like little girls, just because I had kids in the show, and these little girls wanted to fight. And I just said, you know what? I will fucking threaten you with a fucking U.S. fucking lawsuit. I will destroy you and your whole fucking family. I will take you into the fucking dirt where you belong. And I will fucking do that. I'm educated up and down. You don't know how educated I am because God put so many people, man, in front of me. Growing up, showing me law, showing me this. I have been mentored by the best in San Diego. And I'm fucking lucky, you know. I'm blessed, and I feel there's a lot of shit that happened in that promotion. I just don't expose it. And but yeah, Rick, you fucking saved the fucking show. I never had help like that.
That's dope.
And especially doing it all by myself here. I can't bring in the Mexican crew. You know, because they're Mexican, they're Mexico. So it was just all me. It was kind of like, I am woman, hear me fucking roar. I could do all this shit. I'm fucking rogue. I don't care about Storm or anybody. I'm rogue. I will take your fucking strength and make you weak, and I'll use it for me. And that's how I feel. Like it was just a lot of shit.
Jeez.
It was a lot of shit, but it's like fuck, I hate exposing that, but it was like, maybe it's time for me to say that, you know. I just couldn't believe my tierra, my own fucking people will fucking accuse that shit, try to stop the promotion like that.
Wow.
And it's different because Mexico, you know, they fight for over territory. They fight over, I want to have my own commission. I want to do this. I want to do that. It's kind of like in California where they're like, I fucking hate Camel. They charge so fucking much. But it's like, I want to use somebody else's commission. But Nevada's commission is going to be the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for they don't charge the fighters like licenses, you know, like fees like that. And it's kind of, imagine Mexico is just one fucking domination. It's just one corporation that wants to do it. And even when we went down there with Mike Beltran, it was just horrible when we were doing a show there. And it was just, man, you have death threats after death threats. If you start this league, we're going to kill you. If you fucking take this, we're going to kill you. If you do this, we're going to kill you. I'm like, dude, fucking kill me, man. It's like, there's nothing that anyone could ever do to me that God has not already fucking put me through. And I felt like maybe this whole abuse and all this stuff was just for me to just be like, damn, here's a gun or here's a knife. Do it whatever you need to do. You know what I mean? Jeez. So it's kind of like, it gets crazy in Mexico. It's not like here in the United States, I don't think people really recognize what goes on in other countries.
Right.
You know, and it's like, fuck, it was just nuts. It's like nuts. But sorry for getting emotional. I just get so pissed. I'm like, you fucking bastards. You know? You fucking bastards.
So it's here for is this cathartic platform for, you know, it's almost a safe space for, you know, obviously, you know, having a woman's experience, especially in a largely male-dominated world, it's kind of refreshing because obviously, you know, when you hear names of like, you know, fighters, right? Ronda Rousey, you know, Liz Carmouche, the Karate Hottie, like the list goes on, but there's so many people and women and you know, now with like youth creation, like female, you know, youth that are trying to make their way in the sport, and there's forces that are preventing that from happening. And you would think like we wouldn't be in that place anymore in regards to females in the sport or what have you, or having a female promoter, largely female promoter with a all women's card, but that still happens in 2020.
It happens a lot. I mean, the only two promoters, actually three promoters that I feel like that has always helped me. One, Jeff Myers, he made me into one of his ring girls. I am grateful for him. I felt like Barry Myers from heaven, like, picked me out for a reason. I just felt like when I hear his name, Barry Myers, I just know, like, you already had me in your like basically, oh, like
in your
what it,
grace, yeah.
yeah, like he was just like, this is the one. And from there, you know, when I was talking to Jeff on the phone, and he was just like, you know, I had a lot of ring girls that, you know, became models, and they were really like successful. When he was saying that, I was just like, dude, he does not even understand. I'm not even gonna go into modeling. Those open doors are gonna be for something else.
Right.
So when he was saying, yeah, they became and they used that to become models, and I was just like, man, I was like, I wasn't hearing that. I was like, yeah, you're gonna use this platform to become another promoter. And I was like in the United States instead of Mexico.
Right.
And I was like, that's what I was hearing. And I was like, man, I can't believe I'm on the phone with like Jeff Myers. I was like, man, and he's like talking to me if I want this job. And I was like, I didn't even have to audition. So I was just like, wow. And all these other girls are fighting over like auditions and stuff. I was like, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
and how the way he conducted himself, because stupid me, I forgot to bring the the other two like outfits for the ring girls.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna wear? And I was like, and he was just like, let's just think of solutions. Let's not freak out.
Right. There
I
you
was
go.
like, oh my God, that's gonna be me. I'm gonna handle a situation like that. And everything that was like messed up in that show, everything, he was just handling it with grace. And that's what I need. I need to learn from him. I can't learn from a hothead, someone that can't even control their emotions.
Yeah.
Like me right now. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so the other promoter is Jason. You know, Jason, one day I did go to him and I just said, you know, this is what's going on. And while I was just telling him, he would just say, don't post anything. Just keep a journal. Don't tell anyone. He goes, because one day when you write a book, people are gonna be like, I had no idea you were going through that. And he sharpened a few little things in my mind that I needed to break through. Like he calls it a thermostat, where a thermostat, it keeps you from, you know, 30, 40, 50, 60,
Right.
whatever. So I was just stuck at a thermostat at a damn degree, and I just couldn't break it. And then he just broke it. The minute he broke it, I was like, the world is my fucking oyster. I was like, that's it. I was like, I'm going balls to the wall. And people had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I was going to work. And I'm on the computer, and they're like, what are you doing? How come you're not going to lunch? You're on your break and stuff. And I'm like, I'm working. Leave me alone. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, just stop. You know? So I'm like working, and like I'm doing all these things. And I'm like, and like little by little, you know, I have my only official sponsor, and it's like, it's Green Athletics.
Oh.
And it's part of like you know, like it's Nate Diaz's cousins.
Oh snap!
And I'm so grateful for, you know, 209 to always be behind me, and they believed in me, and you know, like Eddie, what's up, Eddie? I know I know I'm in LA, but I can't like see you right now, but but you know, Chris and Chris Diaz and Eddie, they were always fucking supporting me, you
That's
know.
cool.
And I had no other sponsors, so I had my canvas all white. From the canvas being white, I said, you know what, UFC started with no damn sponsors.
That's true.
And
That's true.
and Fearless is gonna start with no sponsors. So so I was like, I'm just gonna start small, go big, you know. But when you motherfuckers want your fucking names there, I'm gonna be remembering that. I'm gonna remember. I'm like, you guys laughed at me so bad and saying nobody wants to see women fight. Which is like, are you serious?
Yeah, one of my favorite MMA promotions in the land is Invicta
Check
because.
your phone.
My
happened?
phone?
Yeah.
Damn, he's gonna be like,
See, anything happens in live streaming. I'm just saying. No, but I mean, one of my favorite, you know, promotions are Invicta, just because, you know, what women bring to the table. I mean, it's a sense of fearlessness. It's a sense of pride. In many ways, where women's MMA is, even in 2020, is almost like where the UFC as a whole was 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of the same plights.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a constant dig for respect. So when it's time to go when it goes to the cutmen, the fighters, the coaches, or whatever. I just think that they fight a little bit harder than they do in other male oriented organizations. And I mean, very much, if you have a women's fight on any card, amateur or pro, in any organization in the land, those tend to be the most crowd thrilling fights on the whole card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love watching women fight, you know. When I go to, like, BJJ tournaments, I'm watching the women fight. It's just, I'm not interested. Men are interesting to watch, but they're not my competition. Mm-hmm. My competition is the other girl. Okay, what's the other 115er? Let's see what she does. All right, okay, cool. All right, let me take mental notes. I want to beat her.
Yeah.
I want to beat her just because I want to beat her. I'm a competitor too. You know, so it's like other women will be more attracted to that, I think, you know. I mean, it's like I enjoy watching women fight. Just they get a little bit more creative. They're just, it's just, I don't know. It's just, wow. You know, sometimes when I'm like, damn, dude, I don't know if she, like Jasmine Pouncey, man, like, man, this girl made her opponent bleed all over the mat. And I have pictures. I'm gonna upload them, but I'm like, they're like all over like the tables.
Okay.
On the ring girls.
Yeah.
It was just nuts. It was just like, damn, she did that.
Yeah, man.
To watch that force in the ring, it was just like, yeah.
And she's been at it a while. I was Jay Tan actually just posted it because I mean at the next Epic card, Jasmine Pouncey is up for a California state title fight against one Tyler Schaefer. That's going to be one that you definitely need tickets for. So hit up Epic Fighting because
I'm going to be there.
That's a fucking fun fight. But she is I mean, Jay basically posted an 18-year-old Jasmine Pouncey at U of MMA against Sonya Deville of WWE fame. And it was just like, you kind of forget. Like, that's how long Jasmine's doing it. And she's still, I mean, what, in her mid-20s, maybe?
Yeah, wow.
You know? And it's just, it's kind of cool to see, you know? So, actually, let me get some shout outs out of the way. So Jeff Meyer, right? Tough Enough. So shout out to the Tough Enough crew in Vegas. Pack the Mac. Let's do that.
Yes.
Yeah, an incredible organization there. And then obviously Jason Stewart, as you mentioned, with Epic Fighting. He's a cool dude. And geez. Check out U of MMA's YouTube channel, because even though they're not running shows anymore, you're going to see names like Terrion Ware. You're going to see, like the Tap Out Queen, Jasmine Pouncey. Like, literally, this start. I mean, Alex Reyes is fighting for the light heavyweight title in the UFC. Started out in U of MMA. Like, it's a treasure trove of people that you know, household names that you know right now in their formative years. And I mean, if you're going through any sort of mental, physical, financial challenges or whatever, you're going to see these men and women in their formative years, and you could see where they are now. And it's incredible. So as a little bit of motivation, check out U of MMA's YouTube page. I'm subscribed. You should be too. Just the litany of content you're going to get. Don't take my word for it. You can thank me later. So there you go.
Yeah, go check out Jasmine Pouncey. I mean, I was really impressed. And the minute my matchmaker got her for Fearless, I was like, yes!
Hey, that's a great get.
I've been watching her. I watched her for a long time. You know, I'm like a hawk. I just watch everyone. And I'm like, I want this girl. I want that girl. I mean, I go to Mexico and I'm like, I want this girl or that girl. I'm like, so now I'm having my matchmaker learn every gym that we work with in Mexico. So, I mean, it's going to be, you know, a bunch of fun in Mexico this year.
That's great.
We have the next Fearless March. Forgot the date. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
I'm so sorry.
That is going to be an awesome introduction to invite people to follow Fearless in the MMA.
Yes,
right?
Fearless Woman MMA.
On Instagram, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
What are the other social media channels?
Yeah, just I mean, YouTube. We have Fearless Woman MMA also, and then what's the other one? My media director handles that too. So it's
Okay,
like-
yeah, no worries. But
So-
put it in the Google machine, folks. It's not
Google
hard.
it, yeah.
yeah. Just type it, swipe it, whatever. Fearless Women MMA, and you can find out about the March card, which should be amazing.
I mean, right now it's just all Mexican fighters, but I mean, I don't think the Americans are ready to go to Mexico. I mean, I think they're still scared. I think a lot of people are scared to go to Mexico.
okay.
You know, so it's
Yeah.
like, but
Yeah.
I mean, you hear all these things in the news, but so we're doing a Mexico card, and then hopefully in May or June, I'll be doing another show here in America
Okay.
featuring Mexicans versus U.S. also.
Right. And now you did have that format at your last U.S. card, right?
Yeah.
Last year. So how was that? I mean, obviously, just in the talent-rich, region of Southern California, it can be a little bit hard to kind of get everybody on the same page in terms of like, what rules are we fighting under, getting people to sign bout agreements and all that, whatever. But was it a extra dimension of difficulty dealing with, I mean, two different countries? And yeah.
I mean, I'm very grateful. I understand both sides.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm standing in Mexico and the U.S. Like that fucking like when you land on the airport.
Okay. Yeah.
You're standing Canada, U.S. That's how it was.
Okay.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and so I mean, you have to be. It takes a person that's disciplined to not freak the fuck out.
Yeah.
Because you have to like be booking like airplanes, hotel rooms, and then like what are you gonna eat? How are you gonna cut weight? Are you gonna cut weight all the way over there? You're gonna be cutting weight in the plane. Like how are you gonna get to the hotel? They have to figure all that out, and so it's a lot, man. A lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
Man.
But I mean, the reward had to outweigh the risk, because obviously you're doing it again and going down that path again. So how gratifying was it to you to pull off that last card with all the crazy stuff that happened behind the scenes, and you had a spectacular card? I mean, shout out to Alan Soran of MMA Events Inc., because the MMA Events Inc. Crew went down to that last Fearless, and they were just like, they were over the moon with what they saw. So, I mean,
The only thing I was really mad about was the damn setup. I was like, fucking Hyatt, you ruined that. I was just like, I'm just,
the Hyatt Hotel?
yeah, it's just like,
Are we throwing shade at the Hyatt Hotel?
no, I love the Hyatt, but
Okay,
it's just
all
like,
right,
ugh,
all right,
man,
all right.
it was just like, man, it was like, it was not how I envisioned it.
Okay.
But I'm just because I'm a perfectionist, I kind of was like, I mean, nobody really cares about that. But now I'm just going to be like, I don't want to use any VIP tables. I don't care. There's going to be like special seating. That's about it. And then the rest is going to be general admission. So I just decided not to do that again.
Okay, yeah.
And just going to keep it. The special seating is going to be for, people like you, and nobody else could buy those tickets because they're going to be like local people that are just going to be inviting. The next ticket's just general admission. It's just going to be one price. I don't care about the VIP crap. I don't care. I just want people to support these women, and I'm not after money or anything like that. I want these girls to also get paid. And so because there was some miscommunication with the accountant, he didn't do that part.
Right.
So I had to do it myself, and it took me a little while because I'm still learning. so I have a few fighters I still want to pay. It did take me a long time, just because I have to find the right people to envision what I envision.
Yeah,
Because if
absolutely.
I have one person thinking like over there and I'm thinking straight, and another person's thinking here, they're thinking up, down, it's not going to work. I need someone to think the same, and I need people to call me out if I'm not seeing it right. I'm after the truth, and I'm not after being an ego or ruling anything or being like high top CEO or anything like that.
Right.
I want, like, if you're working with me, you're like, Libby, how about you see it this way? I just want the truth. I don't care for what's right or wrong. I just want it to be like, this is the truth. This is how it should be. And I said, okay, let me look at that. And I just don't have egos, so it's like I don't care for egos. I don't care for titles. Everyone's equal. That has been working with me. But yeah, like that's what Fearless is about. It's like we're just equal. I did feature the first gay cage announcer. So it was just breaking barriers, because I did have a lot of, lesbians in the card, and
Wow.
I feel like a lot of them are still scared to come out. And I didn't want them to feel like you shouldn't be ashamed or something like that,
Right, absolutely.
And so my ring boy, he's also a famous model. He's been in book covers, and he was my ring boy. So I just call him a ring model.
Okay.
But it was just there to support, like saying it's okay for him to be like a crazy macho, like Marine, and then being able to come out. That's something encouraging, that these girls could be like, it's okay who I am, and I feel like a lot of people are scared to come out, but they're fighting, and stuff like that. And that's the reason for their fight, is because they it's kind of like Bruce Jenner. I felt like he had to prove himself that he was a man, and he won the Olympics. And he would say to himself, if I win this, I am a man, in his mind. And I didn't want that to, for the girls that came out and saying, I haven't even told my parents that I'm this. I was like, man, that torment, that's hurting you.
That's heavy.
And a lot of people don't know that. I mean, we support gay, lesbian, whatever you want. I don't care. It's like, it's open. Like, I just feel like a lot of people don't support that, and it's sad. It's sad because it's a crazy subject,
Yeah. But it's if you've got something to contribute, regardless of how you identify, there is a place, right? There's a place for you to be able to express yourself in the way that you see fit at that time, right? And I think that's important. So where you don't necessarily have to agree with anything or inhabit that, whatever, but like to create a bit of a space where everybody feels comfortable and everybody feels like they have something to contribute to a greater good that might be beyond their one self.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Now, thank you for the invite. I think that was there. But love how you're sitting me at the special table, because I guess we're breaking kayfabe. She saw me rolling on the short bus, so I left my helmet in the car. So I'm special, apparently. Yeah, so there's that. Speaking about kayfabe, you're a huge wrestling fan.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So Libby Austin, at what point did you find professional wrestling?
Man, when I was a kid, Hulk Hogan was the shignig, you know what I mean? I mean,
When
the
you're a
Hulkster
kid,
brother, taking those vitamins, man. Hulk Hogan, you made me take my vitamins.
hopefully it wasn't the same vitamins or whatever, because
No, I wish there was those vitamins. I would be so big and strong. Like my muscles would be so huge, So, but no. Are you talking about those kind of science vitamins?
okay, like a Mexican supplement company. Anyway, I don't judge. Whatever.
Yeah, the
Work
steroids
for
and
The
the
Rock.
meat, right?
Huh?
The steroids on the meat. Oh wait, is the Rock on steroids or something?
No, no, not at all. That's a natural athlete.
I don't know. These days you can't tell.
Huh? Yeah, it's not like the current Rock looks like he ate the wrestling Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
it's weird, man. That's a science experiment.
It
It's
is.
like Bob Sapp.
It's
That
what-
dude's completely natural. Bob Sapp is. Skeptical hippo
Maybe
eyes.
natural science.
Okay, all right. Let's go with that. But yeah, so who are some of your favorites?
Damn, dude. So starting from a kid, let's see. Ultimate Warrior was one of them. Macho Man.
Okay.
Oh yeah. And Tito Santana, he was one of them.
Ole.
Yeah. Jimmy Snuka. Oh man. You just have so much. Legion of Doom. You just have, the Bushwhackers, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Those girls. Remember the Undertaker? Oh my gosh, when he had a twin, it was just like me looking at that as a kid. I was like, how the fuck did they do that? But then I was like, oh, it's someone that just looks like him now.
Dude.
But Paul Bearer, he had the whole wand,
Dude, I was so scared. So scared.
Right? It was just scary. It was just
You
nuts.
used to put people in body bags.
Yeah.
Like how in the like
Bret
what the
Hart,
fuck, man?
Bret Hart, I always think you were cute. I was just like, how in the hell does he look so different from his family? He has black hair. So I always
it's weird.
Yeah. I was like, they're all blonde.
Yeah.
Unless his mom had something with the milkman. I don't know.
I mean, how many kids? 12 kids?
I had a biggest crush on Matt Hardy.
Version 1.
Uh-huh.
Version 1, right? Yeah.
Version 1?
Yeah, version 1. Matt Hardy, version 1. Do you remember?
No.
The Sensei of Matitude?
No.
Am I going over? Oh,
yeah, you are.
yeah.
I don't remember that. But
Okay.
my favorite out of the most, hands down, was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay.
And that's where a lot of people started calling me Austin, and that was my nickname. So if you know me from back in the day, everyone knows me as Austin. They're like, "You mean Libby?" I'm like, "No, it's Austin."
So did you break glass on your way to class?
I would
or?
fucking break glass all the
Okay.
fucking time, and I would
Okay.
run it. I ran into a lot of people from my high school, and they're like, "Libby," from Patrick Henry, and these white girls were just like, sorry, no offense, but they were just like, "We were always scared of you," and I said, "What the fuck? How the fuck were they scared of me?" And they were like, you would come to, I seriously would, how the way he would dress, I would dress like that, but naturally, without even knowing. That's why he became my favorite.
Wow, okay.
My dad was construction worker, so he bought us all boots, like
Yeah.
leather boots, and then like a black shirt always, and then like I feel like that's why I love Nate Diaz, because it was like a regular black shirt. It's like you just wear a black shirt,
Yeah.
and like blue jeans, and that was my everyday. And I had my what kind of hat? I was given a hat from one of my brother's friends that was like a cousin to me, and Eugene, what was the fucking hat you gave me, and I used to love it. I think it was Penn State. One was Penn State, and the other one was Georgetown. Oh my God! So I wore Georgetown. It was the G.
Okay.
Everybody knew me. It was a blue hat, and everybody would say, "Oh, it's the girl with the hat. The girl with the hat." And I mean, I always wore hats. I mean, I have a picture of me as like a 3-year-old with a freaking red hat, and I mean, I always wore hats. So if you see me, it's like I'm hat girl.
There you go.
But Stone Cold was my favorite. I had pictures all over him. I mean, of him all over my room. My mom literally thought everyone thought I was in love with him. I wanted to be Stone Cold. I wanted to shave my head and just like walk in there and just like be like,
call yourself the bionic redneck.
Yeah, he was like,
I'm a Steve Weiser.
Yeah.
I mean,
I never drank, but I would just be like, I would just do water,
maybe.
but
might be in the cards.
Yeah.
At what point did you? I mean, were you a fan of his like WWF run, or like did you catch him in Pillman?
I never saw him. Yeah. Oh my God.
The Hollywood Blondes, the fucking.
No.
You never saw that?
No.
Oh my God.
I knew that's when he was ugly, but when he shaved his head, you were like, dang, he's kind of cute, you know.
Okay.
But but he had what was that? He had a thing with Brian Pillman, right? Brian Pillman. Dude, Brian Pillman was Flying Brian.
Yeah.
I remember I was in the hospital as a kid, and I was really sick, you know. So I felt like my mom thought I was gonna die. It was a long story. That's not next time. I'll tell you about that story.
All right, that's part 2.
People think I'm crazy, but this is the truth. My dad never wanted a girl, and he always wanted my mom to abort me, or I swear, he always wanted to kill me. But I was in the hospital, and then I remember opening up my eyes, and then you could like just see light, and I saw this doctor, and he looked like Flying Brian.
What the fuck? That's crazy.
The curly hair, and I was like,
did he have the loincloth? The fucking
no, he didn't have the tiger underwear though.
Okay.
But I was just like, oh my God, and I really thought it was him, and I was like, oh my God, like he literally saved my life. That doctor,
Damn
like
right
he stayed there, and he was like I'm gonna like take care of her until like she's. Yeah, I just remember him having a cup of water because I was so dehydrated. He was just like having me sit, and then I would just pass out, and then I would just wake up, and then he would just have me sit, and I had no idea what was going on. But now that that's a whole different story. But anyways, I'm telling you, my dad was fucking nuts, but I love the motherfucker just because he taught me a lot. He taught me a lot about life, of who not to be.
Right.
You know, and I mean, a lot of people have anger, like, oh, my dad and my mom brought me. I'm like, but that's what made you you. You know, if it wasn't that teaching, you know, like what would I be if I didn't know that? You know,
Right.
my dad didn't you know, like had my hands into like learn how to fight, you know, protect myself against like these you know, Mexicans that were always trying to like beat you up because you're not joining their you know, like Logan 30. You're not. I mean, sorry. Damn. I should have never mentioned them. Oh shit! But if you're not joining their crew, you know, it's like you know, like, you know, it was just a lot. It was just, I don't know. I just have nothing but love for everyone. You know, it's like it's this thing called amore fati. You know, it's like the love of faith. You know, and that's what I love about it. It's like you love the bad and you love the good. You know, and it makes you what it is. It's like you know, like a Roman Empire. You know, he talks about, he's a philosopher, so he basically talks about being a fire. He was like, you are a fire. He goes, everything that's thrown at you in life fuels you. He goes, if it's not the good, it fuels you. If it's the bad, it fuels you. Everything fuels you.
Yeah.
It's loving life what gives you. He goes, and basically, you know, like Ryan Holiday, like I'm a big fan of him. He talks about, he goes, you're feeling hungry. He was like, you feel the pains, you feel it. He was like, it's raw, you feel the emotion, you know, you're alive. It's amore fati, it's the love of fate, everything that happens. You know, he goes, you get divorced, you know, amore fati, I love it. You know, it's like, this is what I want, you know. So he starts talking about loving this shit, and that's the stuff that I grew up. And then when I heard him say that, I was like, amore fati, you know. And there's days that, you know, you're just fuck life, but then you're like, no, this is the love of faith. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to learn from this, you know.
Yeah.
And it's loving life, whatever life gives you. And I'm like, I'm on fucking fire. He's like, if this shit stops, I fucking just vanish.
Yeah.
The fire burns out. So it's like the oxygen, it's the wood, it's everything, you know, that continues to fuel that fire. And that's what I always tell people, I'm that fucking fire. You can't. And then you start to look into the ancient, you know, like philosophies, like in the Bible and the biblical stuff. I'm like, they always say God is a consuming fire. And then you start to feel like you start to like look at like philosophies, you know, like Marcus Aurelius, who's like the emperor of Rome. You know, he starts talking about like you are the fire, you know, like anything that stands in the way becomes the way. He's like, so I always envision that myself. Like if I see like Mexico's standing in my way, motherfucker, you're gonna be the way. So if I see a mountain there, I'm not gonna move around the mountain. I'm gonna fucking walk through you. You become that way. And that's what I always envision myself. So any little thing that people try to say, like I had so many people saying like, oh, Fearless is a piece of crap promotion. I'm like, yeah, it's a piece of crap promotion, I guess. I just have to laugh at it. You know, I have to be like, Amore Fonte. That's the part of being a promoter. People are going to criticize. People are going to love it. You know, like you love it all. Yeah, I love it all.
Absolutely.
So I invite life. That's what I'm saying. Like, shit, you try to kill me, I love it. You try to say something about me, I love it.
There you go. As long as you've got people talking, I mean, it's kind of the wrestler's mentality, right? Where if you're a heel, you want to get booed. You want people to throw piss at you or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And if you're a baby face, you want the people to throw babies in the air and just like almsbury you, essentially. But if you've got no reaction, then you're in the wrong fucking business, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like Rhonda had it right. You know, Rhonda, you know, people would hate her, people would love her, and it would just go up and down. It's like people's emotions and opinions, they change every fucking minute, you know? So it's like 1 minute I could say, damn, dude, like, Adam, you just pissed me off. I fucking hate you. But then the next second, it's like, yeah, I don't hate you anymore. And it's like, don't take anything personal. Like, I mean, I have people unfollow me that I thought were like, man, okay, I know you unfollowed me, but I don't know what I did to you. But I'm not taking anything personal. I'm not going to try to lose sleep, because it's like, once you give people your energy, your emotions, your mind, then that's when you know they have control over you.
100%. Yeah.
I'm just kind of like, I just have to smile. I just smile. There's a lot of stuff that happens, and I just smile, and people think I'm fucking crazy or stupid or she's airhead or something. I'm like, nah, I already know what's going to happen. You know, I just can't take anything personal anymore. I used to be that one person that would be so angry, and I'm like, what are you looking at? You know, you want to fight? It's because I would take that so personal, and they could just be looking at something. And it's like, damn. I was like, I never want to be that Libby, you know? And it's like, and you know, I never want to be that fucking person that's just so fucking like narrow-minded and just doesn't want to have anyone's opinion. And I'm glad like God gave me the understanding, the mind to just understand people. Like I try to look at people as a judge, like, okay, like this person just fucking cussed me out. I don't know what's going on, but I want to know why they did it. Not, oh my God, it offended me. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like trying to look at him as a judge, like, let me see your side of the story. What's going on? And so I try to just do all that. You know, I had like fighters too, like say a lot of shit, but I wanted to see their mentality. What's going on? It has to be something deeper than that. It's kind of like they're your babies. They become your kids. You know, I understand how Dana White feels when he would watch, you know, like Chuck Liddell fight and he would get knocked out. He would just feel that pain. And when I was sitting there and a lot of those girls were my friends, I mean, they're still my friends. I was just like, they're like sisters. I'm like, fuck, man. I'm like, she's getting fucked up. And I just have to sit here and fucking just like videotape it. And it was kind of like you can't be in there and you can't coach. And there's many times when I'm sitting in Epic as an inspector and I have David Dankin just tell me, you better not fucking coach her. You better not say shit. You better not tell her anything because you're a fucking inspector right now. You're not a promoter, not a coach right now. You're an inspector. And I'm like, okay. And I have to just sit there and not hug them after a fight. I can't touch them because that's a part of an inspector.
Right, absolutely.
I can't. It's sometimes really hard. It's really hard.
You used to have, well, so I mean, if you're gonna kind of take a step back, I mean, David Denkin is the one that kind of he has you there, right?
Yeah. So I don't mind him checking me just because, you know, I do respect him, and a lot of people will be like, don't respect me, I'm a big time promoter. No, shut the fuck up. You know, like you're an inspector today. You know, so it's like you have to know your role and
then shut your damn mouth.
Hole. No, it's like know your role and shut your hole. Remember that? And then they changed that. They were like, know your role and shut your mouth.
Yeah, because they were shifting to PG. But anyway.
That's what the Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
What? I had something happen with my eyebrow there. It was weird. So if we're looking at down the pipeline, let's say 2 years' time, where would you want to see Fearless Women's MMA?
Fearless, I want them to. With Fearless, I'm meditating on the crew. You know, it's a huge difference, man, from Mexico to U.S. I feel like the Mexican side, they're fucking happy to set up a cage.
Yeah.
And in the United States, they're like, how much are you going to pay me? I don't want to lift this. I don't want to do that. And I'm like, oh, man, okay. I need to find someone that's really a fan that wants to turn it into, this is my project. I become the manager. I become supervisor. This is my fucking cage now. I need a person like that. I need a person that says, this is my canvas. This is mine. This is mine. You know, it's kind of like when you, you have that employee and they're like, this is now mine. And don't care about it or anything. I take care of it. You do something else with your time instead of worrying about it. And that's what I need. I need someone to do that, and working in mortgage, I learned a lot. I took care of the VP, and I would just tell him, like, dude, go do you, go like blow air up these fucking corporate assholes, and like tell them, like what you need to tell them in order to get, more investors into this company. I take care of everything. I take care of the loan. I'm going to originate everything. I'm going to contact the borrower. I'll do this. I'll do that. And you do what's your best. Kind of like, he's a talker. He's just like, his words just flow. Yeah. And I need somebody like that. That's what I want. I want Fearless to be impacting a lot of people. Also, like I want women to know this is not just an MMA business. It's I want to have women, thrive and believe in themselves. I have so many women come up to me and just tell me, like, when you walk into a room, Libby, I want to have that confidence you walk in. And I'm like, damn, dude. I was like, I'm feeling like shit today, but it's like for them, they just see like this powerful woman, and I'm kind of like, I don't know what the fuck they see, but I'm still there with you, but it's like they're so broken. And I felt like a lot of people tell me, how could you have this fighter that's all crazy and her reputation's all messed up and everybody hates her, and they tell me how could you have her at Fearless and be participating in it? And I said, you know what, this woman's broken.
Wow.
It's not about me making $1. It's about me helping this broken woman. And the reason why even the commission was like, she's so out of she's like all emotional, all messed up. She's everywhere. Well, let me see why she's everywhere. Let me see if I could settle her down. Let me see what I could do with her. Because if I'm over here trying to empower women and I kick her out, that makes me a hypocrite.
Wow.
And I don't think a lot of fighters just see, I want to fight. But I'm in the world of the fight business and also fixing business. You know, man, there's so much stuff, you know, because I was that person where I was fighting and I was kind of fucked up, you know, I was kind of like hurting inside until I was just like, I don't want to hurt people anymore, you know. I'm like, it's fun, but if I could channel this and make it into what the true martial arts say, you be that gentle fighter, you know, you don't use rage because anger just kills you. But if you could control your mind, it's kind of like Bruce Lee, like he teaches you to.
Yeah.
You know, there's one thing that Nate Diaz does a lot, and and even Conor McGregor, he provokes you where you get all mentally fucked up.
Absolutely.
And I knew deep down Cowboy was gonna get fucked up mentally because Nate Diaz did that to him. And knowing how Conor is, and that pressure, can I beat this man? Can I do this? I knew that was gonna happen, and it's like. I mean, Conor could control his fucking mind really well. So can Nate Diaz, you know, and that's the one thing that there's a lot of fighters out there too that are like, no one could fuck with my mind, you know.
Wow.
But I mean, you could see. I mean, you could. I hate mentioning this person, but because I love this person, but when she lost, you could see where her mind just did break. And there's certain times in jiu-jitsu when I do compete, like my last competition, I kind of broke. My mind wasn't there.
Wow.
And I fucking competed horribly. And everybody was like, "Damn, that's not Libby." And I got armbarred, and I was just kind of like, and I tapped just because I want to continue fighting for another day, and I didn't care, you know. She was the better fighter. I wasn't there, you know. Like on Monday, I kind of was like, not feeling well. I called out sick. I was like, I don't want to fucking work. I didn't want to answer anyone's text or anything like that.
Jeez.
Tuesday, I go to work, and somebody fucking commits suicide. You're kind of like, fuck. I was like. That could have been me, that could have been you, that could have been anyone. Because once you're stuck in that mentality and you start seeing negative, it could happen to anyone. And I feel like my mind was all fucked up. And, you know, I called my master, I called him and I said, dude, all this shit's going on and I don't even know what to fucking do. What do I need to do? And he set me straight. He goes, wipe your tears away. And he was like, and get up.
Fuck.
And I said, okay. And I was like, fuck, I had a headache going into that competition. I was dehydrated. My nutrition was bad. I didn't eat for 2 fucking days. So it's like, what the fuck am I doing? And it's like, when I see another broken fighter, I was like, oh, she's going through something.
Wow.
And I need to help her. I need to help her because she doesn't have anyone. And if I could give back, you know, I give back. I mean, if I can, I can't, you know, but yeah, so because of my own understanding and my own like failures that helped me to get better, now I know my mindset needs to be there. When I was talking to Coach Lenny, you know, he also trains Holly on the side for wrestling. I said, man, I wasn't there. He goes like, you need to remember who you were. And I was like, I don't want to open up Pandora's box. Maybe there's a little fear in there too. If I open up Pandora's box, I'll become a fucking crazy lunatic. I have no idea. So I'm suppressing all this stuff. So maybe this is my test to see if my mind is fully where I am able to control it, you know, and maybe this is my test this year to be able to be like Jeff Meyer and stay calm and graceful amongst chaos, to be that calm amongst the storm, you know. So that's just stuff that, you know, like I'm observing on my own self.
Yeah.
So even, you know, like, so yeah, so it's like I want to help everyone because I don't want them to ever feel like I felt, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, when the world hates you, you feel alone. And I just felt this fighter felt alone. And I'm like, you know what, regardless of what anyone says, I'm like, you're a part of Fearless. I was like, you're always going to have a job, whatever you want. I was like, because I see you hungry. I see you like, you know, I was like, there's a lot of things. I told her, I'm like, you let people take the best of you and your emotions, but you know what? You're going to come to a place where you're just going to fucking smile. And I just smile now.
There you go.
People could cuss me out, you know, I'm like, I just smile. It's like, because I learned not to take it personal. And that's been working a lot. I'm like, you know, because I would be like, why do they hate me? Why are they cussing at me? Or like, what did I do something wrong? And I'm like, it's nothing personal. It's just them. They have to find their own shit. They have to smell it. They have to sit in it, you know? It's kind of like you can't shit where you sleep, but they shitting in where they sleep and they're miserable.
They're fucked. Yeah, that's an important kind of ideology that most people don't get, right? Hey. What's up, Joey?
What up?
Miss you, guy. Yeah, I mean, most people, you know, they wonder why certain aspects of their life aren't the way that they want it to be at a particular point. And it's just like, well, when you're shitting while you sleep,
yeah,
you know, what do you expect?
Yeah.
Right?
It's kind of like you're always telling people, like you're blaming everyone. I'm like, nah, man, it's not them that smells. It's that you smell. It's like
absolutely.
It's like you fucking smell like shit. You need to look at yourself, clean yourself.
No, for sure. My goodness. That's something that I'm going to take away from this because like
Amor Fati, dude, you got to love it. You're the fucking fire. What stands in the way becomes the way. And that's how that emperor did, you know? Like, you know, when walking in these positions, I'm not doing it by accident. I'm doing it on purpose because they were already ordained before me. I can't just run away. I was like Jonas. I was just like Jonah, like in the whale. Like I was running away. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to do MMA. Like, I'm just trying to wait. But it just kept, no, you're doing it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, one thing that Profe Raul Aviso, he's the owner from Entram. He trains amazing UFC fighters. You know, he has all amazing fighters. And one thing that when he sat down, you know, he sat down with me and he said, what do you see yourself doing? Do you want to continue fighting or do you just want to promote? And then he goes, and I said, I was like, kind of like, basically him telling me it's time for you to retire and just focus on this. And I was just like, so he told me, he goes, maybe you should just stick with jiu-jitsu and not get hit in the head and start to just promote and build this company. And I had to be like, this man is so genius. I have to listen to him. And I said, okay, I won't get hit in the head anymore. Because my last concussion, I was like, my eyes were like this. It was just like, I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't get hit in the head anymore. And I just felt like Andrea was sparring with her one day. She just broke my nose. And I can't breathe right. Thanks, Andrea. I was like, my modeling nose, it's broken. It's like, but yeah, I mean, it's, you know, when coaches tell you like it's over, you got to move on. Pill to swallow. Yeah. I mean, for me, it was like, okay, I mean, I could still do jiu-jitsu at least, right? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, try to be a world champion at my age. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I mean, some people don't want to reinvent themselves, you know? There's a poem, like, you know, it's basically saying it's like reinvent yourself and then reinvent yourself. Reinvent yourself and reinvent yourself. It says the same thing.
Yeah,
it just says reinvent yourself and then reinvent yourself. Reinvent yourself and reinvent yourself. I'm all into poetry. I mean, as a writer, like as me growing up, just writing my feelings. I never spoke about them, but it's true. Reinvent yourself and then reinvent yourself. And most people can't reinvent themselves. They're stuck on who they think they are. But once you start to know your calling, you start to be like, oh, cool, I did this. Now what? You know, a lot of people that become, let's just say I become the greatest fucking poet ever. Well, that's it. And then you get all fat and lazy and you're like, well, I wrote all these books and that's it. I don't care anymore. Well, what that's it? and you're not reinventing yourself.
Right.
So it's like reinvent yourself. You see Connor, I mean, reinventing himself.
Absolutely.
From like, hey, I want to be MMA, and then I want to be a boxer, and then I'm going to go back into MMA, reinvent myself as the king again. Now what? He will figure out what he's going to do. So he's like, I did this, now I'm going to do this. I'm going to go higher. I'm going to go higher, higher, until people say, well, I just did this and I accomplished, like, I won the Super Bowl. Well, what are you going to do? You're just going to do the Super Bowl and that's it? You know, so when when I met Mike Dolce, this is just a quick story. Like, it kind of like when I met Mike Dolce, I was just always on season. I was always like, cut. And he told me, dude, you got to take a break because you're harming yourself. And then I finally took a break and I reinvented myself as off-season Libby. Off-season Libby and absorbing all these new shit instead of on-season. Now I feel like maybe I should get cut up again. Go back into like 115 with fucking muscles all shredded and reinvent myself again. But that's what I tell people, like, you surprise you know, kind of like, I don't know, you just become the greatest, kind of like, you know, Kobe Bryant. He goes, you continue to be prepared for the next level.
Absolutely.
Because if you just say, oh, I just passed level 10, that's it, that's where I'm going to stay. Well, really?
Yeah. Because once you stop learning, I mean, you're pretty much 1 foot in the grave, right? Like, once you say you know everything, and that's kind of a weird one to say because nobody really knows everything. It's like jiu-jitsu; it's a constantly evolutionary thing. So yeah, I mean, if you stop learning and you kind of suppress yourself into like one mindset, and you wonder why certain things don't happen, maybe you need to look in the mirror and, like you said, you reinvent yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, here's the crazy thing. Let's kind of switch gears a little bit. We're on the road to WrestleMania. The Royal Rumble just happened. Do you have a favorite WrestleMania moment?
Damn.
Dun, dun, dun.
WrestleMania. I think the greatest WrestleMania was when Hulk Hogan lifted Andre the Giant.
What?
That's you know, when you do hear the backside story of it. Andre the Giant didn't care to be that best amazing wrestler, and he basically took his crown and he said, I'm fucking dying. I'm broken. I have arthritis. And I know I'm going to die soon. And he was like, Hulk Hogan, you carry this now. And when I saw that documentary, and I saw that as a kid, him slamming that, I was just like, this man had no fucking ego. And this is why he's always going to be the greatest. Oh man, it's just like, when people see these little things, it's like you start to study ego. You start to study like pride, what makes a great leader and what makes you great. And you start to see, man, Andre Giant was the fucking greatest person ever. This is why people cry and miss him.
Right, absolutely.
And you're not going to cry and miss an asshole. You're going to be like, thank God he's fucking dead. I don't give a fuck. And he's going to be forgotten. But this is why that's the greatest moment of WrestleMania for me. And knowing what Andre Giant did. People were booing him. He put himself to be like the bad guy. And he was the most nicest man ever. And I was just like, man, I can't believe he was like, you know, the Princess Bride.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
Catching, Robin Wright, absolutely. And man. I mean, there's that visual of, you know, them being on Jake the Snake's, you know, talk show segment, and Andre literally stealing the chain off of Hogan's chest and ripping. It's, again, the WWE Network, folks. I mean,
but he was a genius. I mean, I don't know if you saw the documentary, but they were just like
on HBO.
He would be like, "We're gonna push each other," and he was like the one teaching Hulk Hogan stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
Like, oh my god. And then Mean Gene, he was like, "Oh my god, everyone, stop it!" You know, it was like, oh man, they knew that.
Yeah.
That's the greatest moment.
That's yours? Okay.
Yeah. What's yours?
Funny you ask. So, I'm a big heart mark, right? So Brett Owen, I mean, hell, even when they did the Keith and Bruce, like all four brothers against like Jerry Lawler and his crew, I was like fucking hearts because they're the greatest shit. I mean, you had Brett he was the champion. You had Owen, who's a high flyer. He could do the lucha libre shit, the Japanese Puroresu or whatever. And then you had their dad Stu. I mean, he would choke out bears like in a dungeon, right? You think these two are badasses, right? The kids, but the old man could fucking choke out bears and put them to sleep one time of the year at the Calgary Stampede. So WrestleMania 10 is without a doubt my favorite WrestleMania and the best storytelling I feel that the WWF has ever done, because you had Owen as the runty little brother. You know, they started off as a tag team or whatever. Owen turns on Brett, and it's just like there's a friction. Brett is just like, I'll never fight you, I'll never fight you. And then Owen sends to see, he's like, oh, we're good again. You know, like, let's start tag teaming. And literally, they lose the match. Owen blames Brett and whatever. Brett had a knee injury. Owen kicks his leg out of his leg. I think that's the promo that he did. There was a botch there. But, and they go into WrestleMania, WrestleMania 10. The opening match was Brett versus Owen, right? And Owen beats Brett. Owen beats Brett. And you're like, this can't happen. Brett is the champion, whatever. And it sowed the seeds of like, oh my gosh, Owen could be champion, whatever. And that gets fortified when later in the night, there was kind of a weird kind of deal with Lex Luger and Yokozuna, but Yokozuna comes up on top. And then he goes into the match with Brett. And Brett beats the gargantuan that is Yokozuna. And you see Razor Ramon, Macho Man, Roddy Piper coming out, lifting up Brett. He's the champion. And you see Owen walk down the ramp halfway. And he's just like, you know what? Fuck you, Brett. I could have been champion. Again, the story that is told. I mean, and that's not even getting into like the I Quit match with Bob Backlund and Brett. I mean, Owen throwing in the towel for Brett and Stu and Helen Hart. The parents are just like, why the fuck would you do that and whatever. And you had Davey Boy Smith, the brother-in-law, Jim the Anvil. Again, check this shit out. Please just do yourself a favor. You can thank me later. But WrestleMania 10, that's the best. You can't get any better than that.
Damn, I have to look that up. I have to. I don't remember that one.
I remember a lot of dumb shit. I'm sorry. It happens.
Yeah,
it happens.
Shit.
Yeah, man.
That sounds amazing.
So you got some homework to do. I mean,
I have homework to do.
Not to say that you're not busy already.
Was it WrestleMania when Brett fought Stone Cold and then
that was WrestleMania 13,
and then he put him on what is that, figure four?
No, that was the sharpshooter.
Oh, the sharpshooter.
Sharpshooter.
Oh my gosh, and he sat on him and all that blood was coming out, and then that's when like the whole like picture of like Stone Cold, dude, that was my favorite.
That made Stone Cold, and it was a double turn because going into it, Brett was the baby face and Austin was the heel and whatever, and through Austin's gumption, and he'd rather pass out in the sharpshooter than to quit.
Yeah.
That's what made Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah. So that's another good one. But again, hey, Brett is in both of those. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, Bret Hart. He was the ladies' favorite, wearing pink.
Dude, the fucking new Attitude commercial where he's in the aisleway and then the dad brings the kid to see him and they somehow end up in the backstage area. And Brett's about to go out into the curtain, and the little kid goes, Brett! And Brett turns around, and Brett's gimmick was to, before he entered the ring, give his glasses to a fan at ringside. But Brett doesn't do it in this commercial. You know what Brett does?
He gives him the jacket?
No, he gives the glasses to the kid backstage and then walks out. Which is uncharacteristic. I mean, if you had followed Bret Hart up until that point.
Yeah, he would give the kid.
He would give it to somebody in the crowd.
Yeah.
In the commercial, he did not give a shit, and he gave it to the kid backstage where nobody saw it. And I was just like...
What was the whole drama between Vince McMahon? Do you remember when he spat out his face? That was supposedly real, right?
Yeah. No.
Was it real or fake?
Oh, my gosh. The Montreal Screw Job. That is one of the most ballyhooed wrestling deals, because some people think it was a work. They think that, Brett, there was some sort of like cohesion between Eric Bischoff and Vince McMahon to get Brett over. I don't know. To me, I don't. I believe Brett. I believe Brett. And
it was real then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was real.
I mean, when you think about all the things that happened.
When he did that, I was just like, damn.
Brett goes to WCW. His career never really recovers because he was in a system that really didn't know what to do with it. And then Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash were kind of pulling the strings behind the scenes or whatever. Then he gets super kicked by Goldberg, and he's never the same, right? And then on the other side, Owen stays or whatever, and it eventually ends up his demise, and he dies in the ring, right? And so there's too many things. I know people want to go into conspiracy theory mode, but there's too many real life things that happened.
We're gonna have everyone calling now, sending
absolutely.
like hate mail, saying, "No, it was fake."
Yeah. So again, I mean, you can shoot the hate DMs to according to Woods. I'm just saying, but I'm with Brett on this one. That was totally shoot.
Yeah. If you guys don't know Bret Hart, then he's like the Canadian from Albert. What was it?
Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Yeah. Hell yeah. Fuck
Alberta, Canada. I remember. That's how I learned about Canada, because of him.
Dude. Okay.
Halifax, Nova Scotia.
No.
That's how I know about that. I want to go there one day.
Where he won the title from Ric Flair.
Yeah, Halifax, Nova Scotia. I'm predicting I'm gonna have a fucking show there for Fearless.
There you go.
It's gonna be dedicated to Bret Hart.
Hell yes.
And I want your glasses, Bret.
Hey, there you go. We can make that happen. No, and speaking.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, speaking of that, when I was growing up in Inglewood, right? And so most people
Inglewood.
Oh my gosh, there you go. But most people didn't know of Fiji or why I sounded like this and kind of looked like them, right? Like American Black and what have you. So when I would tell people, hey, there's a whole country of people that look and sound like me, different variations, and they're like, oh wait, Fuji, like the apple. And I'm like, no, fuck, that's Japan, wrong island. So I just told everyone I was Canadian. What are you talking about?
Wow.
Fuck your Coronas and Molsons or whatever, because a Commonwealth accent is a Commonwealth accent, folks. So I just told everyone, I just elongated my boots and what have you, and I was like, fuck it, I'm Canadian, because I got tired of people going like, oh, Fuji, like the apple? What the fuck? That's Japan. Learn a geography book. And probably what Libby Austin in it. I don't know.
It has Libby Austin in it. I swear I'm gonna go back to that high school and I'm
as the CEO of Fearless Women MMA, right?
Yeah. You know what's so funny? I went back when I did the first international show. I went back to the Barrio station, and that was where I used to get counseling. and I went there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for Rachel. I'm like, she used to counsel me. I was like, remember you said I was that little girl that loves to fight? I'm like, well, the little girl that loves to fight created her own fight company. Jeez. So I was like, I'm here. Aren't you guys proud of me? And they were just like, oh my God. And so when they saw me on the news, everyone was like hitting me up, and they're just like, we didn't know about this. And everyone from elementary, like that I had no idea like still existed, they were like, do you remember me? I'm like, on Facebook, I was like, yeah, I remember you. How can I not forget you? I'm like, you were my best friend. Which is true. Which is like true. Like I don't forget people that I would like be friends with, so it's like I didn't have that much friends, but the friends that I did have, they were worthy of being my friends. I'm kidding.
Damn. But that's a measure of success, right? I'm still little Libby from Barrio Logan. There you go. Hey, but I think Libby did pretty damn well. I'm just saying. And I don't think there's a better way to fucking end this, man. But
wait, we have
we got some shout outs.
No, we have to end it like this. So sorry. Okay. Anyway, go ahead, talk something.
Okay, I'm gonna talk some. But dude, again, this is the first like late night Gym Crashers edition. This is not the usual sort because obviously Dondo and Joey the Bull aren't here, but they will be here Tuesday night. So Tuesday night's Gym Crashers, we will have Alex fucking Perez. Yeah, spoiler alert, that's what we're doing because we're the Gym Crashers.
That's my theme song, man. I'm going to walk out one day.
There you go. I think
Stone Cold Libby Austin. That was my nickname.
There you go. So,
if you don't know, you should know. My name is Stone Cold Libby Austin.
and
I
that's
just
the
whipped your
bottom
ass.
line.
I just whipped your ass.
Because Stone Cold said so.
Stone Cold said
Oh,
so.
hell yeah. Where can they find more about you, Libby, on social media?
Go to Libby Cinnamon.
On IG?
Yeah, on IG. I mean, I have Facebook, but the minute I go onto Facebook, everyone from Mexico says, "Hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás haciendo? We miss you. Come over." Blah blah blah. And I'm just like, it's a lot of messages, which I need to hire someone
Dun, dun, dun.
to pretend to flirt with all these guys. Okay, no, I'm kidding. They're just.
This is getting weird.
This is Stone Cold.
That's Stone Cold.
This is who I wanted to be. I wanted to be the Texas rattlesnake.
There you go. There you go.
But now I'm just a San Diegan rattlesnake.
There you go.
And that's what my professor says.
Yeah.
He
Fuck
says
yeah.
Libby's a little rattlesnake. He didn't even know I like Stone Cold, so he just named me that.
I'd say that's fitting. That's fitting.
Mm-hmm.
But Libby, for happy fucking birthday.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, man.
I'm forever 21, so it's
There
like.
you go. That's not a clothing brand or a fucking store.
No, that's
at
gonna
all.
be my. I'm gonna buy that store.
There you go. There you
I'm
go.
gonna buy that store. I'm gonna have Stone Cold everything, Bret Hart,
There you go.
Pink, everything.
I think I'll buy some shit. Anyway, Libby, fucking thank you. Yeah, and check out Fearless Women. Next show is March.
Yeah, next show is in Mexico. So we're gonna air it probably Facebook or YouTube. Probably YouTube because it's cheaper in Mexico. So we have all the equipment down there.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Man, you definitely want to follow them because they're making moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Si se puede.
Si se puede.
Hell
If you
yes.
don't know, you should know. My name is Stone Cold Libby Austin, and I just whipped your ass.
Boom.
Because Austin 316 said so.
This has been According to Woods, and we'll see you next Tuesday on the Gym Crashers, a regular scheduled edition. Follow Fearless Women MMA.
Here.
And the Gym Crashers. But this has been According to Woods with Libby fucking Canela.
Libby
And we-
fucking Canela. That's
and-
what somebody said.
Yeah, and we are out. Thank you guys.